What If Kahhori Reshaped the World is the 6th episode in What If Season 2. And this episode follows a character named Kahhori, a brand new original character created for this What If series. And she is a Native American from the Mohawk Nation, even having her culture, her language, and everything else be heavily prevalent in this. And even at the end of the episode, Marvel thanking the Mohawk Nation for helping create this episode, showing that they actually had part in what happened during it so that they could get the culture and the language right, which I think is an awesome thing that they did, really showing that Marvel put in the effort to include these people in it so that we would get a proper representation. And as someone who is First Nations in Canada, I think that is awesome that they did this, even though my history of Native America is very limited. However, with that, let's jump into how the episode started, because it turns out in this universe, Surtur came to Asgard way earlier and caused Ragnarok, destroying Odin and sending the Tesseract to Earth when Asgard got blown up, which is different from our main timeline MCU, because we know the Tesseract ended up on Earth and where the Tesseract was found back in 1942 during World War II from Hydra. However, by the Tesseract landing on Earth, it broke, which is actually surprising for an Infinity Stone, but in the end, it created a pocket dimension within the stone, kind of like how the Soul Stone has its own dimension within it. And we had Kahhori and her brother go into the Forbidden Forest where this Forbidden Cursed Lake was. And it was only forbidden because this place was apparently cursed. People would go into the lake and then just vanish into thin air, which would make sense with the Tesseract because it's the Space Stone. However, it looks like people also fought over it because of the power that seemed to be there. And of course, like everything in this time period, it went dark real quickly, with Spanish soldiers coming in and attacking them and burning down their village. Because during this time period, we would have been having soldiers from other nations coming around and trying to explore America as their new world. But of course, this story has to push the main character somewhere by shooting her and sending her into this Forbidden Lake, which then teleports her to Skyworld, the pocket dimension within this Infinity Stone. So it seems interesting how they set this up, having this different world within the stone, having the stone's power seep into all the life within it. And it shows that anyone that eats the food there gains the power from the stone, which means as long as you're there, you're going to be gaining this power. You get super speed, strength, and telekinesis. And this is pretty cool because at this time, these people would think this is a spirit world. They're not dying, they have powers, and they're just living this happy life, which in reality, they're just living in a super powerful Infinity Stone, which at first it seems like they're completely trapped in there. They can't get through the portal to get back, and this is where they have to live. Multiple people have attempted, but never succeeded, and I liked how they had them hunt during it as well, because it shows how they're going after these bison-looking creatures, just like how the Native Americans would have also hunted bison. But in a twist of fate, this world has the bison have fruit on them, which is very interesting the way they did it, because fruit is growing on animals, but the fruit also looks like gemstones, which would make sense because they're in a stone. And I like how we had this main character refusing to stay in this world. She wants to go home to save her brother, save her people, because she knows they're in danger. Even having the enemy soldiers get sucked into the new world and causing things to go dark quickly once again. Because right away, as soon as they find the native people, they try to kill them. Typical soldiers from another world at this time, they just take out the people they see as a threat and try to claim this new magical world for themselves. However, that goes completely wrong for them because Kahhori sees them, catches the bullets, and takes their guns, just like how Magneto does during the X-Men movie. Even having Kahhori snap after this, wanting to protect her people, showing that she has a real connection to the Space Stone by being able to completely drag the portal from the sky to beside her. Showing that there's something special about her and she possibly is the chosen one within this Infinity Stone. She tries to convince the people to go help her, but they don't want to leave this newfound paradise, and she has to go face the enemies alone. And when she exits the dimension, it really looks like there's time dilation between the main world and the pocket dimension, because it doesn't seem like much time has passed. We got a whole training montage with her. The Spanish soldiers were just getting back to their ships at that point. And while she's fighting them, she's seen as a witch, and then also having Kahhori almost get defeated, but having the others come to save her, realizing that they have the power to step up as well and save their people together. Showing that Kahhori was able to connect to them and also motivate them to help her people, which is also their people. Even though they might be slightly different, they're still from the same land and they still have the same ancestors. However, the one thing I was not expecting from this world was for everyone else to have power as well as Kahhori. I thought it was just going to be her who was like the chosen one, got the power, then reshaped their world. However, instead, it was multiple of them, but she just seems to have the strongest connection. But in the end, after they save their people, it really shows how this universe has changed, because that means no one would have been able to colonize America, because Kahhori and her people would have had the power to stop stop them, showing that they would have grew in their land and the culture would be completely different. Even having them go to Spain to take down the monarch, instead of destroying them like they could have, they wanted peace. They just wanted one world where everyone lived in peace, and that's why Supreme Strange comes in at the end saying that he's been looking for her for a long time, showing he's been looking for someone with a good heart, someone who's trying to save people rather than just conquering the world. Because honestly, with any other nation at that time period, if they got that power, they probably would have taken over the entire world and would have made it one whole nation. This also kind of has a connection to Wakanda, where this is kind of the opposite of what Wakanda did, where Wakanda cut themselves off from the world and closed their borders because they had the power of vibranium. Instead, the Native Americans opened up the world and went for peace rather than taking it over. Even Supreme Strange commenting at the end there, being like, for how long that lasts, knowing that someone more powerful and dangerous will come and try to take it from them. And with him coming in as well, I've got a couple theories going from this. One is more likely than the other. Like the first one, Supreme Strange is making his own multiversal team to go against Scarlet Witch and her team with Captain Carter on it. However, I think that Supreme Strange is just getting more people for that team, because in the trailer, we see that Captain Carter with Kahhori, with a bunch of other scenes we didn't see from this episode, meaning they take place later. Supreme Strange is probably working with Scarlet Witch from 1602, collecting people, and told her to take Captain Carter because he had worked with her before. And I'm really excited to see where the series goes. I feel like it's going to be different from the Infinity Stones Ultron we saw last season. Maybe something to do with Secret Wars and leading into all that. Let me know what you thought about this episode and what you think is going to happen after this end scene. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit the like and the subscribe button to stay up to date with all my Marvel breakdowns, as well as some of my DC and anime ones. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you later when we watch another episode of What If.